Pre-season testing in Bahrain is finally over, and now we know who to fear this upcoming season. While teams pushed themselves to their limits and fine-tuned their machines, one contender emerged from the desert looking sharper, faster and more dangerous than the rest. But who is the team to beat as the season roars to life in Australia? The answer might not be what you expect. Max Verstappen and Red Bull have a mountain to climb as they prepare for the Australian Grand Prix, with pre-season testing raising more questions than answers. While raw lap times weren't the primary focus, completing a solid test program was crucial, something Red Bull struggled with due to multiple setbacks on both Thursday and Friday. Liam Lawson's session was cut short by an engine water pressure issue on Thursday, while Verstappen lost valuable track time on Friday due to an oil leak. The result? Red Bull logged the fewest laps of any team, managing just 304, 154 fewer than Mercedes, who topped the mileage charts. With less than 2 weeks to iron out these reliability concerns before hitting the track at Albert Park, the pressure is on. Adding to the challenge, McLaren looked flawless during testing at the Bahrain International Circuit, setting the stage for a fierce fight down under. McLaren stole the show during pre-season testing, with Lando Norris delivering a standout performance on Thursday afternoon that turned heads across the paddock. His long-run pace was nothing short of sensational, making McLaren look like the team to beat heading into the new season. Backing up that claim, onboard footage and available data suggest that both Norris and Oscar Piastri had a rock-solid car beneath them. The 2025 MCL39 looked planted, effortlessly stable at high speeds and glued to the track the corner. Norris did have a few off-track excursions on Friday morning, but he wasn't alone. High winds caught out several drivers, including Max Verstappen, who spun. With McLaren firing on all cylinders, Red Bull has work to do before the season opener in Australia, a fact even Verstappen acknowledged as the reigning champions scramble to close the gap. "I think we had a decent day," Verstappen said. "We had a few little problems, but overall we completed quite a bit of what we tried to do. I think it was not bad, but at the same time there is still work to do. It was what I kind of expected. We just keep on working and trying to improve. Hopefully we will be ready for Melbourne, learn a bit more, and see where we are at. I do not expect us to be the fastest at all, but at the same time it is very difficult to tell where everyone's pace is. There is some work to do for us. As pre-season testing wraps up, one thing is clear. Red Bull is no longer the outright favourite heading into the new season. McLaren appears to have the upper hand over its rivals, showcasing impressive pace, while Mercedes also flashed signs of competitiveness with George Russell and rising star Kimi Antonelli behind the wheel. However, with Bahrain's cooler temperatures potentially playing to Mercedes' strengths, their true performance will only be revealed under hotter conditions. Ferrari, meanwhile, remains a question mark. While quick over a single lap, their long-run pace lagged behind McLaren, raising concerns as the season opener in Australia looms. Lewis Hamilton has completed all the testing he'll get with Ferrari before making his much-anticipated race debut for the Scuderia at the Australian Grand Prix. Though the 7-time world champion would have welcomed more time to settle in, he's had just 56 days to adjust to life in red before the lights go out at Melbourne's Albert Park. Yet, despite the tight timeline and pace concerns, Hamilton is in a cheery mood about their future. Speaking to the media on Friday, he admitted that while the transition has been fast-paced, his confidence is growing as he gears up for his first race with the prancing horse. "I would say this is the most positive feeling that I've had in a long time." Lewis Hamilton's pre-season testing with Ferrari was productive, totaling just 1.5 days of track time due to car-sharing duties with teammate Charles Leclerc. In that time, he managed 162 laps, just shy of 3 full Bahrain Grand Prix distances. His first day behind the wheel was, in his own words, just okay, as he and the team focused on executing their run plan, testing various setups and getting into a rhythm. By day 2, however, Hamilton stepped things up, experimenting with setup tweaks and taking a more hands-on approach to shaping the car's direction. Reflecting on his progress, the 7-time champion sounded increasingly confident as he fine-tuned his new ride ahead of his Ferrari debut in Melbourne. "It was a bit more of getting to explore my interaction with my engineer, Riccardo Adami. I really enjoy driving this car. We're slowly bonding, I think. It's on plan. We couldn't be further ahead with the short space of time that we've had." On the third and final day of pre-season testing, Lewis Hamilton hit the track in the afternoon, immediately pushing the limits with a series of fast laps. His low fuel run was smooth and controlled, earning him third on the timesheets. Solid, if not spectacular, But more importantly, the seven-time world champion looked completely at ease in his new Ferrari. The focus then shifted to a crucial long-run simulation, giving Hamilton his first real feel for the car's handling under race conditions, with a full fuel load. However, the run was less convincing and was ultimately cut short when the team detected an anomaly in the telemetry. Speaking to the media before his final stint, Hamilton remained optimistic, but acknowledged there was still work to do before his Ferrari debut. "It's hard to believe it's the last day of testing. It's kind of crazy. It's so short for everyone, but it's a vital few days that you get in the car. We're just focusing on doing the best job we can with what we have and understanding the package we have. And for me, I'm learning more and more how the team likes to work, and making small tweaks here and there to improve my efficiency and the efficiency of how we work together. So it's been positive." The battle at the front is shaping up to be a thriller, with McLaren and Ferrari looking evenly matched on both short and long runs, making it nearly impossible to call a clear favourite heading into the season opener. "McLaren look really quick, really competitive," added Hamilton. "It looks very, very close. We won't know till next week truly exactly where we stand, but we know that we've got work to do." For Lewis Hamilton, just being in contention after such a whirlwind transition to Ferrari is a huge win. His preparation has been limited, consisting of a few runs in a 2023 spec car, a modified 2024 model for Pirelli testing, a brief shakedown in the 2025 Challenger, and the Bahrain test. Yet, despite the tight timeline, he's already in the thick of the fight. After 3 frustrating years at Mercedes, where race wins were often out of reach, Hamilton's passion for the sport had taken a hit. Now, fully immersed in the Ferrari project, where he's been clocking 12-hour days at Maranello, his enthusiasm is back, and his seamless adaptation to the Scuderia is turning heads. While talking about his learnings in this new environment, Hamilton said, "I still feel that there's still quite a bit to come. Fortunately, I got to drive the 2023 car. So I've really been able to compare to the 2024 and the 2023 car and see where they've progressed, the problems they had on those two cars, and how they've improved into this one. Obviously, I didn't get to do the test at the end of the year, so a lot has been crammed in during that time. But I personally like to just jump in the deep end and figure it out. That's what we're doing, but of course we're going through the processes, and I feel like in this period of time we've built a really good foundation. 4 years into this regulation cycle, it's clear that every team has found a way to maximise the technical limits, resulting in cars that look more stable and predictable than ever. Unlike in previous seasons, there wasn't a single machine that appeared particularly tricky to handle. That said, subtle differences still emerge to hint at a competitive order, not necessarily in outright performance, but in terms of consistency and driver confidence. Sauber seemed the most unsettled, with noticeable rear-end instability, though not as erratic as last year. Ferrari, meanwhile, showed a tighter line through turns 1 and 8 compared to McLaren, while Mercedes stood out for its quick directional changes through turns 6 and 7. One intriguing detail was McLaren's sharp front-end turn-in at turn 8, which often sent Lando Norris onto the exit curb earlier than his rivals. While this suggested he lacked the same confidence as Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, the stopwatch told a different story. Norris consistently lapped in the 132s during his race simulation. By contrast, Ferrari, which handled turn 8 with more precision thanks to Leclerc's later turn-in, typically ran in the high 133s to low 134 seconds, though on a harder compound. With just days to go before lights out in Melbourne, the margins at the top remain razor-thin. Which team are you betting on to win it all? Let's argue about it in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.